Street doesn't have this, and I think it's one of crypto's most powerful kind of hidden signals that nobody really understands. So I'm going to go ahead and explain it. So by the end of this, you're going to have all of the code and you're going to have a full explanation, and you're actually going to have some other cool stuff as well. So you can see here there's something called the funding rate, and the funding rate is a tool that essentially it's a fee paid between people that are long, people that are buying, and people that are short, people that are selling. And on Hyperliquid, it's every 1 hour that this funding rate occurs. You can scroll over here and it shows funding. I'm sure you've seen this before. Funding here. And you can see if you hover over, it shows the annualized amount. So if it's negative, that means that they're pretty much, the way I look at this is Hyperliquid is begging people to long. Not begging, but if it's negative 200%, I feel like it's low key begging. And if it's super positive, like 200% positive, then they're begging for shorts. Okay. So that's how I look at it. And usually, if you look at like BTC, it's usually around 10%. So you can see this is abnormal, negative 73%. That being said, we do have a war going on, and oil is one of the most heavily traded. I saw it earlier this morning, it was at plus 220%. And what happened to the price? Well, they were begging people to short, and it's a Sunday. And they're begging for people to short. It did go down in this case. But that doesn't mean it's always going to be like that. What was the funding rate down here? I could probably bet you anything. It was negative like 200 or something. I don't know. But you can already think about how you can use this in trading bots, right? Well, if there's a mechanism that people aren't looking at and Wall Street literally doesn't have, the only people that have this are you and I, people that trade on Hyperliquid, because this funding rate thing it's a crypto thing that came into play with perpetual exchanges. So if you know about Hyperliquid, they're like the biggest or one of the biggest perp dexes here in crypto, and it's usually crypto. But recently they introduced this new thing where you can pretty much trade stocks and futures and Forex on it. So using that mechanism, the funding rate mechanism, in order to keep the markets balanced, you can look into the math behind it and all, like what reasons behind it, but essentially the longs pay the shorts if it's positive, and if it's negative, then the shorts pay the longs. I think that's right. So negative means shorts are getting paid right now. No, longs are getting paid. Longs are getting paid. Damn, dude, this is tricky. When it's super positive up here, they're asking people to short. So when it's negative, the longs are getting paid. And when it's positive, the shorts are getting paid. And who are they getting paid by? The other side. Okay. So let's go ahead and give you a example here of this tool, the scanner that I want to show you how to build. Now you can see here, I have it for all cryptos. You can see the annualized 11%, 11%. This is pretty normal. But then when we go to the HIP3 stuff, and this is what Wall Street trades, but they don't have access to this funding rate. And this is so powerful in my mind because it kind of shows sentiment. Like I said, if funding rate's really high or really low, like they're begging, if it's negative 200 here, they're begging people to long. Right now, they're asking people to long, but if you've been watching oil, it's been swinging between negative 200 and positive 200. They're asking people to long. They're not begging them yet. And again, none of this is certain. It's just another mechanism that you can look at, right? I'm not God. I don't know everything. I just know for a fact that while teaching this stuff to people, a lot of people don't understand what the funding rate is or how to look at it, right? So all I can do is show you this data and bring ideas to you. And here's the actual scanner that I built. Let's see if I have the, okay, so on the roadmap here, if you go to the code from videos section, you're going to see HIP funding rate scanner. And this is great because I walk you through exactly how it works. And then I give you the code. So you can see copy code here. and I explain each piece of it. So you can literally have this code that is running on my screen showing you, okay, Nat Gas here has 161% annualized funding rate. That means that the majority of people are long. The majority of people on Nat Gas are long because the funding rate is so high. They're asking, Hyperliquid is asking for more shorts. So that means it's unbalanced. Now, how do you trade that is the question. But I hope this gets your brain going, and I hope you see the opportunity here. Wall Street does not have this. When you're trading on Interactive Brokers, TD Ameritrade, wherever people are trading, you're not able to see how swayed the market is. How many longs are there? How many shorts are there? You can see negative 631% annualized. That's insane. I don't even know what this is, but that means that if you take a long here, you're effectively earning 631% per year. That being said, it never stays sturdy like this. So it's not like you want to just go over here and buy and think you're going to get 631% per year. You're not, but it is a signal. It's a new data source, a new data source that literally the last 700,000 years that the stock market has been open, we never had access to this. And Wall Street's not trading on Hyperliquid. They're not trading on Hyperliquid.
I knew I was going to make it. I just ain't know how. But I knew. This world is what you make it. You create your own environment. It all starts with a vision. What you can imagine, you can create.
So I have this running right now. So it spits out the funding rates and the highest ones and the lowest ones. Remember, the lowest ones means they're paying people to long if it's super negative. So oil, they're kind of paying people to long. 76% is pretty high when you look at crypto. There's another caveat here. There's not as much volume on these exchanges as like the New York Stock Exchange. So while this could be a little bit of a sentiment indicator, literally it tells you where the majority is. There are its flaws, and it's going to take some time to really build up because you can see this is how much 11 million of open interest. Open interest is another metric that a lot of people don't understand. But open interest is essentially all of the open positions on the market. Now you can't see that either on the stock exchange. So Wall Street can't see that. And that's what I love about crypto, dude. Because we can see things Wall Street can't. So all of the code is here. You can see it if you want to just rewind or whatever. I've scrolled through all of it. But this blog post or article, whatever you want to call it, should explain everything I went over here today. And what I'm going to do, it's already on the roadmap, moondev.com/roadmap. And if you come tomorrow to the Zoom, I do a live Zoom every single day. And in that live Zoom, you can ask me questions. You can see all my code and it's private. So, if you join, I can share more things with you. And this is one of those things that I will share with you. If you want to rewind this video, pause it, you can also get the code that way. But you can see here when you join the live Zoom, go to moondev.com here. Not only do you get the Zoom call with me and you get to ask me any questions, on top of that, I give you a ton of bonuses. You see all this data parsing through here? I actually launched Hyperliquid's data layer so you can get data faster than anybody else trading on it. I could get tick data, I can get liquidation data, et cetera, et cetera. And this is just one of the data sources. What I explained here today, the funding rate, 1 out of like 30. So I actually give you the API key to that. So you get 24-hour access. The API key, which gives you access to the Moondev AI. You can check that out at moondev.com/docs if you want to right now and see all of the calls, including this call here. So moondev.com/docs, if you go to the funding rate section, everything I explained today about the funding rate, you can start hitting that immediately. You come to the Zoom tomorrow, not only do I give you the API key and the AI, but I give you this app that you see me running multiple different Claudes in at all times. This is how I usually have it set up though. I usually have it set up like at a 4x4, whatever. Add some more here. I'll add some more rows and columns, but you'll see that tomorrow on the Zoom if you want to come. That being said, the algo trading roadmap that you saw where I posted all of this is also available tomorrow. So just scroll down and you can see yesterday's video as well. I'm not going to use GitHub because I think we need more explanation than GitHub. And if you're new to algorithmic trading, GitHub is extremely intimidated and it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense until you're like year 5+. I didn't start using GitHub till I was year 5+. So I think this is a much better way to transfer code to you, is be able to explain what it does and then let you get the code. So I'll probably continue to do this. And what's cool about that is if you show up to tomorrow's Zoom, then you're going to go ahead and get yesterday's liquidation trading bot and today's funding rate scanner. So I hope this gets your mind going a bit here and gets you excited about a whole new metric that Wall Street does not have. Literally, they're not using Hyperliquid, but retail is. So finally, retail is starting to get an edge here on Wall Street. I'll see you tomorrow. Link below.